Right, so we have our tables, and so we know we are going to show in our home screen, we're going to show a list of the events. And now we have this upcoming and past. For now, sorry, we're going to say upcoming and hosted by me. Those are the two filters that we're gonna for now.
Okay.
So that's it, really. I think then we get into creating the event. So I think we have everything we need for that too. We need just the endpoints and I guess a basic edit profile endpoint, right?
Yep.
Well, sorry, and attending or not attending.
We need to like add an event, list all events. There's a few things, right? We need to.
Okay, so do we want to list all the things that we need to do now, or
let's for now. Let me just build this up so we can. What I can do is I can populate the event table with some dummy data, and then maybe we can see what that looks like.
Okay, I will be building the other screens for now, and then we can check in again. Perfect. Right. So I'm gonna keep narrating what I do here. So we said we want to have a detail of the event. So in this case, I'm gonna take this screen here that we borrowed from Bravo before, and we see we have already a nice cover image. We have this back arrow, which is going back on top. We have this save icon. For now, we're gonna disable because we're not gonna get into adding that feature. Then here we have seems to be a tag, so I think we can disable this as well. And this is basically some audio features, so we're not going to need that. So now if we look at our detail event, put it just right here. So we want to do, let me crop this so we can, it's not that messy. So actually it seems like the image is going to take half, I would say, half of the screen. So before doing that, let's make this a top bar, and we just copy that tag and put it here. And now actually what we want to do is let's say we're gonna show scroll. Let's see the right tab. We're gonna look for top, and now show scroll. So it's not show on scroll, but show scroll. Okay, so we want to get rid of the other one, and this is the correct one. So show scroll. So what I want to do here is we're gonna build and do something that's not in the official app, but we're gonna be showing this top bar when the user scrolls down. So that's a nice trick that I've been trying recently. So basically, as the user scrolls down, we might want to show like the X or the back or just the title here, right? Because this big title and the information and the image will be lost as the user scrolls down. So let's say we want to do something like this. We're going to say the main data we need to show here is the title. I'm going to get rid of the drop shadow. We're going to make that smaller. And now we want to left align it. Now we're going to add some nice rounded corners. We're going to say that this is the information that the user should never miss when scrolling down. And let's make this 50. And I think that looks pretty nice already. So let's see how this looks once we preview it on Bravo Vision. But now let's make sure we have enough top margin. Okay, so we say 12 here, and that looks good. So now this top bar is gonna show only when the user scrolls down. So for now, I'm gonna hide it. I'm gonna keep building this screen right here. So this is gonna be container, and we still wanna keep this arrow because in any case when the user scrolls down, it will be lost, and we'll have the other one we have built. So what we wanna do here is, let's say something like this. Looks good. Then let's fill it with the image, and now we want to take this background, this overlay, we want to place it here. We want to send everything to the back and get rid of the corners. So now there's some linear effect, so which we are doing here, but I think could be better to do something like this. So of course we can also get something like this, similar to this effect, like the blur or the glass effect, but we're not gonna get into that. That's more of a Figma or design kind of session. So for now, let's say this, we have our location. So that's all we need for now. Now we're gonna be doing the buttons. So these are the RSVP buttons. So what we can do is we can take the text, and this is for me the easiest way of doing it. We're gonna say this is gonna be our going button. Now we're gonna frame that. So in most cases, Bravo is gonna recognize the auto layout. It's getting way better now recognizing the auto layout. By the way, Toby, that's a really nice thing that I remember before it could mess up when you had an auto layout going on, but now it's doing a pretty good job.
Nice.
So what we want to build here is this is our frame where all the buttons are gonna live, and this needs to be here. And now let's make this something like this, and then this other frame is gonna be the rest of the information. So something like this, and we're gonna, let's say this is our color for the overlay. I'm gonna do a linear, and I'm gonna send everything to the back. And now we have our buttons here. So this is gonna be, maybe this is not going, let's make them all the same. Let's add some spacing. So these are gonna be the buttons. So each of these are gonna trigger an action. It's going to tell the backend, it's going to tell whatever endpoint we will be building, whether you are attending, not attending, or maybe. So in order to do that, we want to say something like going button, and this is an action remote. So you can go to the plugin and copy that tag, but I know it already by heart. So this is going to tell Bravo that it should trigger an action, call to the backend. So this is our not going button, and this is our maybe button. Okay, so let's do this for now. So then what we have here is, so we have our user avatar, who is the host, and then we have the name and 14. And now we have some description about the event. So 14 thing, it's all centered. And now it seems that we have the list of people who are attending the event. So actually what we want to do here is we want to make this one frame. I usually do this just to make things simpler. And then we are going to make our description live in a separate container. So I'm going to delete from that one. So that means that we can make the description as long as we want, and we're gonna do that by adding a flexo tag. So the only thing about the flexo tag is that it needs to be on the last element in the container. So in this case, just make it easier, this is gonna be our description container. And then we have something like this. This is gonna be the container for introducing the who is going section. And then here, let's say we're gonna have our user, so everyone who's gonna attend. So let's say we have it in a vertical list. So that means that this is gonna be our attendee. So this is gonna populate like this, for as many attendees as there are. So we could make it a horizontal list, we could make it something like this, so it populates like 3 or in a grid, so 3 or 4 per row. But we're gonna make it simple because we don't have much time, and that's it. So now if we make this something like this, and okay, so Toby, we're gonna show this. So this, we're gonna show our show and scroll bar.
Looking nice.
All right, so I think it could be way better with some more tweaking, but for now this will do. So should add some detail here. We're gonna try to replicate this thing here where the buttons live. So I'll make this rounded. Now let's say something like this, and center everything. And now these, so ideally you would make these buttons you would make both states, so active and default states for the button. So when I say I'm going, this actually turns to active. It stays that way, and then these two stay as default. So we can have a different design, something like this. So this would be our active, and this would be our state. All right, I think this is already looking good. Let's make this white, and that's it. So now what we need to do, if we go back to our homepage, is we want to link this container, which is going to be the event that's going to be populated. We want to link it to the detail page. So this is going to be our event detail, and this is going to be our home, and that's it. So now we can go back to Bravo, and we're going to sync the design so we can see how it looks on the app, on our phone. How's it going with the endpoints?
Okay, so I've got a list of all the endpoints. I've got a list of the events a user is attending and a list of all the events the user is hosting.
Nice.
So the first link is wrong. I should probably remove that because I changed it. But I'll send you all the other ones I've got. So that's
Okay.
the list of all the events, and there's a list.
Okay, so I will check how it's looking on Bravo Vision, and then I can do some tweaks live, and then I'll take 10 minutes, and then we'll jump to connecting the backend.
Sure.
What do you think?
Yeah, this is good. I think the Figma side is much more interesting to watch than the backend side generally.
Okay, so we can see that it's not looking exactly as we designed. So let's try to fix that and troubleshoot. So there are two things. So one is, so you can see here the backdrop that we added. So that is showing nicely, but then these buttons are off somehow. And then the rest is, yeah, we could work on the design itself, on the UI, on the spacing, typography, etc. But yeah, it's showing the way we want it. So everything is stacked nicely, so up to the username. So that means that when we will have different users attending, this one will populate vertically, right? And let's see how it looks when we have a long description. So we'll see that when we connect the endpoint. And now, if you remember the tag that we were using, that I'm a fan of, which is the show and scroll. So you see this is the default when you land on the page, but then if I scroll down, it shows this other minimized kind of top. So that's pretty cool, because as I scroll down the page, you can show the user specific information that you don't want them to lose track of. So now let's try to fix these buttons here. So in some cases, it might be, so let's first check that we have that the layout itself is in place. So we have this first container here, then we have this other one, and I see the issue. So these containers, these buttons are actually living in in the first layer. So they are floating around, they're in a limbo space. So we wanna put them inside frame number 2 here. So this is gonna be our button frame. Of course, it's more time, you wanna be doing a better job of naming the layers and the elements, so you don't miss anything like this. So now we have everything wrapped nicely inside, right? So let's see if it looks better now. So let's sync the changes. All right, so trying to share screen. Okay, now it's deciding not to share my screen, my phone. Okay, there we go. So we sync the changes on Bravo on the website. So now we're gonna hit in Bravo Vision. This is important because sometimes it won't sync automatically. So we're gonna hit sync here. All right, so now we see the buttons are showing up nicely and on top of the backdrop that we added. So again, we can play here with the opacity and all the design aspects, but yeah, we have our page built up and ready to be populated with data. So now we know that we can connect the title, the date, the location, the host information, the description, and also populate who is attending. So that's nice. Now, one more thing that we might want to do now is we want to make this the starting point of our app. So right now it's always going to the detail page. So now I'm gonna share again. And now if we sync the changes, it should navigate us directly to the homepage. Yeah, there we go. So now if I tap on this event, it takes me to the page. Now I tap on the back arrow, takes me back. Okay, so everything is in place for in order to be connected to the data.